Hello, welcome to Soulprint Intuitive Tarot. I'm so delighted that you have found me and are choosing to spend a little bit of time with me. My subscribers have jumped up significantly in the last day or so, which I have absolutely no doubt is because Marianne from Revealing Light Tarot has given me a rather lovely shout out. And if I'm not mistaken, it's actually, I think, the second one that she's done. So grateful for that. So appreciative for that. As many of you might know, one of the only downsides of sort of going public and doing these videos is that I have chosen to stop watching other readers, because when you're dealing with intuitives, okay, so I'm watching Marianne and she says something and my intuition kicks in and it goes, oh God, and the problem with that is, while it's great if you're collective and you're together and you're feeding off of each other, it's not so good when you're separate, because for me, I find that I want to be very clear that I'm not mixing up kind of my thoughts with somebody else's thoughts. Some of the readings out there are incredibly gifted and talented. We all have our own style, and it makes me sad because there's a whole bunch of them that I don't get to watch anymore on a regular basis. Okay, that's the end of my pity party. Okay, so thank you, Revealing Light Tarot and Marianne. I very much appreciate the shout out and your support, and I'm very grateful for all of the new subscribers who have found me and are choosing to give me a chance. So that's super special. As usual, I want to thank, of course, the my regular viewers, my subscribers. All the comments are brilliant. The thumbs up are amazing. The private readings I'm doing, little box under there will give you some information. The donations, it's all amazing, and honestly, it humbles me every single day. Okay, so this is a wee little bit unusual because, normally I have a question and I do the video, and then after I've done the video, I kind of try to figure out, maybe what I want to emphasize about the video, and that is how I come up with the little clickbait, the name thing. Well, except this morning as I was watching the news and I was sort of trying to catch up on the current insanity going on in the States, I kept hearing over and over in my head, the wall that Trump has built, the wall that Trump has built. So that's going to kind of be what I want to find out about. So my question literally is, tell me about the wall that Trump has built around himself. Come on down. Okay, so how about this? Trump's legal wall. Trump's legal wall. Trump's legal wall. And while we're at it, we're going to check out his emotional wall and his political wall and his financial wall. And maybe we'll see if he has recently tried to purchase any alligators. What was it? Alligators and snakes, maybe. Anyways. Let's find out what's going on in Trump's world. So far what we know is, let's see, we've got a guy who is just causing chaos everywhere he goes. Every time he opens his mouth, with every decision he makes, he is just amplifying the intensity of the worry. He is amplifying the intensity of the fear and the anger and the confusion and the chaos, and that excuse me, that is exactly what he is good at. It's what he does. Okay, he is a one-trick pony and he doesn't have very many tricks in his bag. That's one of them. Okay, it is just creating disaster where there was not a disaster before. So, again, this kind of says it all. Things are absolutely crumbling. That wall he built around himself is absolutely crumbling. Frankly, it's crumbling a lot faster than he thought it would. He is not sort of able to stay on top of all the spinning tops in his world. He can't get a really good handle on it. Hang on. Sorry, that little frog in my throat has decided to become quite noticeable today. Okay, so, yeah, not good. Okay, just plain not good. There's a lot of squabbling and fighting. Certainly the whole situation with Turkey and Syria, the Kurds, is creating a lot of stress and anxiety within all political circles in Washington. It is really scaring a lot of people, because a lot of people who work in those fields, you know, national security and, you know, all of the other fields, you know, State Department, whatever, all of those kind of areas that tie in, they know that Trump isn't going to last forever. I mean, not one of them actually thinks he's going to become king. But what's going on now is actually really frightening even those supporters of his, because they realize that Trump isn't going to last forever. But the ramifications of some of his actions are indeed going to last a very, very long time. With his sort of denouncing the Kurds, with his sort of letting Turkey and by extension Russia invade Syria and do another land grab, which, wow, doesn't that sound like something from Putin's playbook? In doing that, he has sent a clear message that he cannot be trusted long-term over long-term. The United States' word cannot be trusted. And frankly, that is a really horrible debt that the people of the United States are going to be carrying for a very long time forward, considering it really happened because of 70,000 people in 3 states. He was so not elected, except because of the system. He's the one whose butt is in the White House. A lot of infighting, a lot of squabbling. Again, I'm getting this sense of him trying to, feather a nest. So this is the thing, right? He's charging forward like there's, no tomorrow. He's trying to push everything forward on his timeline. Kudos for Nancy Pelosi for standing firm. She does not need him, or frankly anybody else, dictating to her what the rules of the House are. And anybody foolish enough to fall into the trap of thinking that if we just give Trump a little, he'll give us what we want. Oh my God, pay attention. We have had 3 years of him pushing the envelope and people giving him what he wanted to shut him up, except it doesn't shut him up. It just emboldens him to push harder. Well, that's awesome, because all of that pushing is now going to be exposed to the sunlight. And there's going to be a lot of smoking and burning going on to what Trump views as his secure domain as a result of the extension, of the sun. Okay, now so literally as the cards have come out, you've got the sun sitting directly on top of the tower. So literally it is saying the illumination, the spotlight, is going to be what sits on top of the tower and crushes it to the ground. The government is starting to panic. The GOP is in fact starting to panic. Not so as you can see it in the public, but behind the scenes, there are a lot of cracks going on among the GOP, the government, because they realize that he has not just strayed into dangerous territory. He has plowed his way through with fanfare and fireworks into dangerous territory, because God knows, just based on how much fake gold is around him, the guy has no taste. So, no sense doesn't know what's going on. It's not paying attention to what's going on around him. But I'm telling you, behind the scenes, it's getting tense in the Republican Party. I mean, there are, of course, those few who are going to publicly stand by and be like, literally, you know, Trump's puppets, right? They're going to say whatever he wants them to say, even if they look stupid and they don't make any sense. Apparently, that is the cost of, you know, vowing your loyalty to Trump. Yeah, he's going to be disappointed. He's going to be heartbroken. And more importantly, a lot of those GOP people have started to recognize that, oops, you know what? We put our eggs in the wrong basket. Wow. Okay, so again, he's trying to hold on to whatever he can. Money, it doesn't matter if it's his money, campaign money, possessions, be literally letters, documents, paperwork. He will just try to hold on to everything. And eventually that is absolutely going to land him. I'm not going to use the words in jail because I actually don't think that's going to happen. But I do think it's going to tighten or close in those beautiful walls that he is building around himself. He is creating his own jail. Well, just bless his soul. And here comes judgment. This is not going to be good or pretty. And I have to tell you, just energetically, even things that were sort of a little bit more settled or more set, even a few days ago, with some of the nonsense that has been going on literally in the past, you know, few days, it has just sort of sent those seas really rocking. And I myself am having a little bit of a hard time actually getting a grip because some of the things that were so clear a week or two ago, honestly, don't feel that clear anymore. I mean, it's getting worse at such an alarming rate that it's really getting hard to keep track. So, you know, he's not up for the task, and those around him are not up for the task. This is not going to be good. Just not good. And again, okay, so we've got the tower, we've got the sun coming down on the tower, and we have judgment coming down on that. Sort of interesting the way these high arcana cards are just sort of setting themselves up here in this reading, isn't it? And of course the Hierophant, you know, so that's talking about, you know, the government. Okay, so yeah, see, this is the thing. Trump wants to do this on his terms. He wants to set the rules. He wants to set the narrative. He's good at that. He did that for 2 years with Mueller while the Democrats sort of silently waited for the report to come out. They learned firsthand and hard exactly how good he is at sort of manipulating things. And so Nancy Pelosi is being very, very mindful of not letting this drag out, but be methodical at the same time. And she is very mindful of the fact that he is not getting to control the message this time. He's being blocked. And she has secrets. Oh my Lord, she has secrets and strategies, and the investigating bodies are finding out all kinds of stuff that we are not yet privy to, but trust me, we will be, because they are not going to keep it under wraps forever and ever the way Mueller did. No offense to Mueller, a brilliant man, great respect. But the Democrats being quiet over that sort of event really just gave Trump and the GOP a great deal of messaging power. That's not going to be allowed to happen. She is on top of this, and they're going to be letting this information out. I'm not talking about leaks. I'm talking about witnesses. I'm talking in subpoenas, etc., etc. So there's that going on. Hold on a second, please. Hi, sorry for the interruption. For those of you who are new to my channel, This is a house full of animals, and sometimes they really do dominate. So I've gotten a couple of, just to digress here for a moment, I've gotten a couple of questions from concerned viewers. Thank you, you are so sweet, about seeing Jerry moving in the background and he's limping and people are wondering if he is okay. So this is the story about Jerry. He is our 3-year-old, part Maine Coon rescue. He weighs 10 pounds and he says, I'm really not fat. It's just all of my fluffy fur that you see. But he says, I do have 3 legs. And so sometimes you see me hopping around. I am perfectly fine. That is just how my get along gets along. So, and you'll often hear him meowing, because as the colder temperatures are coming here in Alberta, he is having a lot to say about that because he wants to be outside and he can't. You're not going out. Okay, so I apologize for the digression for any of those who are not like cat lovers. There are 2 dogs around this house too. But I've been getting sort of a lot of questions about the animals because I'm getting more and more subscribers. Thank you so much. So since he was trying to climb on the table and, he likes to walk in front of the computer, I just thought I would save us all some time. All right, back to Trump. He's not going to get to control the narrative, and so that's a good thing. And in fact, it's not so much like he's going to retreat, but it is going to be like a few of his advisors start to tell him to back off a little bit. The world is watching and you're not gaining any support. Now, I noticed that he hired Trey Dowdy, who always reminds me of a prematurely gray, God, I can't remember. The guy from, I can't remember what cartoon it is either. Anyways, like a Howdy Doody, right? Like he just reminds me of kind of a rooster without some necessary parts. Okay, I could be more witty than that, but I'm trying to be like polite. So that's not going to save him. That's not going to help him. What this guy is going to do is just start squawking and making a lot of noise. And a lot of people are very quickly going to start ignoring him because he makes no sense. And frankly, the last 3 years have killed off enough of our brain cells with stupidity that we have to guard the ones we have left and not listen to some of these idiots. A lot of worry going on behind the scenes by a whole lot of people. Hey, and by the way, for those of you who did not hear and maybe having a few troubles, or concerns about paying your bills and, making ends meet, it was announced this morning that Trump owes $841,000 spread across 10 cities in unpaid bills for campaign security. 841,000. Wow. And this is the thing, right? He is going to continue to move forward. He's going to push forward and push forward. He doesn't know retreat. He doesn't know another way to do this. In pushing forward, he is only going to get himself in deeper and deeper water. More and more continues to come out. You've got whistleblowers coming out. You've got the thing about Tillerson that came out yesterday about him having to tell Trump that, the things he wanted to do were like illegal and he couldn't do them. You've got the people around Trump in trouble, right? You've got Giuliani, who now has 2 clients who have been arrested for campaign finance charge problems. It was a lot of money that went into like straw donations. And both of those, of course, are not Americans. They are foreign-born donors, which I'm pretty sure isn't supposed to happen. And here's Trump, our fool. And here's Trump looking at his own thoughts, believing his own stuff, convinced that he is the smartest one in the room, you know, the stable genius and I'm sorry, I keep trying to remember that, whatever that was he said about wisdom, but honestly, it's so ludicrous, my brain will not hold on to the phrase. Please don't send it to me. I know it. My brain just will not spit out those words in conjunction with the word Trump. So he's just focused on his crap. And again, he doesn't understand about the wall he's building. And he's doing it to himself. You know, he is. He hangs around with crooks. You're going to be, you know, a crook. You hang around with people who bend the rules. Eventually, you're going to find yourself turned into a pretzel. Okay. He continues to operate in delusion. He continues to not actually anymore really grasp how serious what is going on around him is. The numbers are tanking. He is becoming more volatile. He is yelling and screaming. He is carrying on like a fool. He has built this wall himself. In fact, it is the only wall he has ever been successful in building. And for the most part, aside from probably a few lawyers, he didn't really shaft a lot of construction people in the process because, you know, really, he did it all by himself. Is the White House going to survive? Yeah, it is. He's going to be leaving. I'm not sure how. He's going to be taking what he can steal and going. Does that mean elected out? Does it mean resigning? Does it mean exiling himself to another country who he foolishly thinks would welcome him with open arms because he is a brilliant and wildly successful businessman who is a genius and stable to boot and something about wise? Yeah. You know, it's just not going to work out so well for him. A lot of heavy burdens, a lot of truths coming out, information about dark money and group kind of, you know, relationships, situations that are not good. A lot of work going on behind the scenes, people, a lot of work. And that's going to be to his peril too. The more people he says, don't go, don't talk, I'm not releasing, the deeper and deeper the hole is he digs for himself. His lawyers are in court saying stupid things that are making judges just about laugh out in their faces. So, you know, here we go, right? Here's Trump. It's my other Trump card. Follow the money. It's about the money. Right now, his focus is only on the money. Change of fortune is coming. He can't go back in time. He can't fix this. Here comes justice chasing the wheel of fortune's tail. The secrets are going to come out. He is not going to be victorious. In fact, his only victory is that he managed to build a really good wall around himself. Hang in there, people. Stick together, work together, assess together. Know that the strength of the people, of the voting public, and of people's opinions, of reaching out to their representatives and saying, this is not acceptable, what are you doing? That's going to be what brings this to an ending that gets him out. It will be successful, people. It will be successful. Okay. So I'm hoping that that is helpful. It's kind of a little bit more rambly than normal, although for those of you, I ramble. Okay, it's just what I do. So I am hoping that you have found this insightful, perhaps a little entertaining. Perhaps it gives you a new way to think about something, or just perhaps if it maybe just gives you a little bit of comfort and calm. That is my intention. And if my intention is being realized, I am eternally grateful to each and every one of you. Once again, I thank Marianne at Revealing Light. It's very much appreciated. I actually have some clients that I have read for in that part of the world, in Australia, etc. So hello to you guys that are watching. Thank you. All right. Until next time, take care. Be well. and I'll see you really soon. Bye.